Okay guys, so in the last tutorial I showed you how to make the Afghan, and once you have the Afghan complete, you're ready to start the unicorn part. So the first thing I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do is the head. And you're going to need two different kinds of colors. I used blue. You can pick any of the colors that you want here just to make the nose color, and then the white. So you're going to need two different kinds of colors. I'm going to start with one color. I guess I'm going to start with blue here, and then pink will be my white. Hopefully you can see it because white is really hard to show up on camera. But I don't know, we'll see. So go ahead and grab those two colors, and also you're going to need for these tutorials, you're going to need some fiber fill. Get quite a bit of it. Also some felt. To make the eyes later on, you're also going to need a little bit of white and a little bit of black. You're going to need a sewing needle. You're going to have to sew your piece closed. You're also going to be using a stitch marker and a 3mm hook, which is a size C hook for the US. You're also going to need a hot glue gun so that you can attach the felt eyes onto your project, onto your head, and also to each other, or just some hot or some really strong adhesive of some kind. Okay, so to begin the nose, remember you're using a 3mm hook this time. You want to chain 3. Then you're going to go into that very first chain, and you're going to slip stitch, and I would recommend holding your chain. Slip stitch to form a ring. You want to hold on to that ring. Get out of here, tail. So then you'll want to chain 1, and then working in the center of the ring, you want to put 6, and I'm also going to be working over my tail, because you can use this tail to tighten the hole some. You want to put 6 single crochets worked in that loop that you created. And I'm working over my chain at the same time. So that's 3, 4, 5, and 6. And you want to count backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is my 6th and beginning single crochet there. And I'm going to put my hook in there to mark it. Now you can tighten it if you have a big hole there. Pull that string to tighten it. Now for round 2, we want to put 2 single crochets in each stitch. So we're going to be doubling our stitches this row. So in each of these single crochets, all 6 of them, you want to put 2 single crochets in there. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then 11 and 12. Sorry about that. I wanted to turn off the heater. I didn't know how loud it would be on camera. Okay, so again, you can count backwards if you need. You should have a total of 12. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So this is my very last stitch here. So this is the beginning of the row, and this is where we're probably going to start putting our stitch marker. So for this row, you want to put a single crochet in one stitch, and then the next stitch you'll put 2 single crochets in. Then 1 single crochet in the next stitch, then 2 in the next stitch. So the very first stitch we're going to do, it'll be just a single crochet. Then the next one, let me mark, I'm going to work over my tail here. The next stitch, I'm going to put 2 single crochet. So it'll be a single and then an increase. So I'm going to go ahead and go into my very first single crochet that I did. So I have a single crochet, then 2 single crochets. So in this very first single crochet, just so that I know this is the first of the row, I'm going to put a piece of string there. I'll attach the actual thing later on. Okay, so I did my first single crochet, then 2 single crochets. So that's my first set. So then my second set again will be 1 single crochet, then the next stitch 2 single crochets, then the next will be 1 single crochet, then the next will be 2 single crochets. So continue this down your row, and at the end of this row you should have 18 stitches. So for row 4, it's going to be 1 single crochet in your first stitch and 1 single crochet in your second stitch, and then you'll do an increase. So you'll put 2 single crochets in the next. So this row you'll be doing 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, then 2 single crochets. And since I got my first set done, 2, 1, 1, I know this is my very first stitch, so I'm going to move my marker to my new place. And then you want to continue this all the way around, putting 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches, and then you'll put 2 single crochets in the next. And at the end of this row you should have 24 stitches. Okay, make sure you count your stitches at the end of the row. You should have 24. So for the next row, for round 5, we're going to have a single crochet worked, 1 single crochet worked in the next 3 stitches. So 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, before we have an increase of 2 single crochets. So go ahead and put your first set in, which is do your 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches, and then do your 2 single crochets, which is an increase, in your next. Then you can count back 1, 2, 3. You can see your 3 singles and then your double, and then this will be where your next marker needs to be placed. Then you repeat that set again, 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches, and then an increase of 2 single crochets. And you continue this all the way around. When you get to the end of your row, you should have 30 stitches. Okay, make sure you count your stitches at the end of row 5. Make sure you have 30. For rows 6 and 7, so for the next 2 rows, you're just going to be putting 1 single crochet in each stitch. So I just did 1 single crochet in the first 2. I'm going to go ahead and move my marker up to my beginning stitch. So you want to just continue to put 1 single crochet in each stitch around for the next 2 rows for 6 and 7, and I'll see you when you get back up here for round 8. Okay, this will be the last row with your blue, and you want to go ahead and do 3 single crochets in the next 3 stitches, and then you'll do a decrease. So we're going to start by doing, let me just make sure I'm here. Okay, so that is my first stitch. So 1, 2, and 3, and then you'll do a decrease. So you'll go through 1 stitch, grab up a loop, go to the next stitch, grab up a loop, pull through all 3. Now once you finish that set, there's your decrease, 1, 2, 3. So this is your first stitch. I recommend moving your marker. Then you want to continue that, putting 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches, and then do a single crochet decrease. And when you get done with this row, you should have 24 stitches. So 3 single crochets and then a decrease. So I'll see you back here at the end, and we'll be switching colors. Okay, I've come to the end of my row, and go ahead and count. I went ahead and completed my double crochet, and then I counted all my stitches, and I had 24. So then I went ahead and I backed out of pulling through my last decrease, because I want to change colors here. So I have the 3 loops on my hook, and I'm going to go ahead and switch to well, you should be switching to white or whatever color you want your unicorn to be. Okay, so you want to grab up your your main color that you want to use for your unicorn and finish your last double crochet with that color. And then you can tie your two tails together to just make that extra tight connection if you like. So now we're going to move to row 9. And row 9 is you want to single crochet. Get these things tight. You want to single crochet in the next 3. And you don't need your stitch marker at the moment because you can now see the beginning of your row. So you'll do 3 single crochets in a row and then an increase. So you'll put 2 single crochets in this next one. Then you'll repeat that pattern, 3 single crochets, and then 2 double crochets. We're going to increase back up to 30 stitches at the end of this row. So continue the pattern of 3 single crochets and then an increase, and I'll see you when you get done with this row. Okay, when you come to the end of your row, count your stitches. For row 10, you're going to do 1 single crochet in the next 4 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then you'll do an increase. So then you do that again. Put 1 single crochet in the next 4. And then do an increase by putting 2 single crochets in the same stitch. So you want to continue to do this all the way around for round 10, and at the end of the round you should have 36 stitches. Okay, at the end of round 10, where you put 1 single crochet in the 4 stitches and then an increase, at the end of the row you should have 36 stitches. Now I recommend to add your tag or your stitch marker this row. So for round 11, we're just going to put 1 single crochet in each stitch around. So I'm going to put 1 single crochet in the first couple stitches here, and then I'm going to put my marker back here. So go ahead and put 1 single crochet in each of the stitches around. At the end of this row you should still have 36 stitches. 12, again you want to put 1 single crochet in the next 4 stitches. I'm going to move my marker up real quick. Always do the first 2 and then I put my marker. So I've done 2, 3, 4, and then you want to do an increase. And then again, single crochet 1 in the next 4 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then the next one will be an increase. Continue that all the way around, and when you get to the end of your row you should have 43 stitches. So you want to continue this around until you've done this set. 6 sets total. I'm sorry, 7 sets total. So you want to repeat it 6 times. So we just did 4 in a row and then an increase. That's 1 set. 4 in a row and an increase. That's the second set. So I'm about to start my 3rd set right now of 4 in a row. So you want to do this a total of 7 times. So I did increase there. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So this should be an increase. Because you'll come really close to the edge, the last stitch of the row, but then you won't quite make it there, I believe. 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then another increase. You're looking for 43 stitches. I'm getting close to the end, but I'm not quite there. Let me just go ahead and do one more set. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Before I complete this set of an increase, I'm going to go ahead and count. So I have 39 stitches. So that'll be 39, 40, because I just finished my increase. 41, 42, and then that is actually my last stitch here. So I did an increase, and then there's a single crochet. Let me back out that single crochet and let me just finish with this increase here. 41, 42, 43. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and count. Go ahead and make those. Actually, I just need to do one more single crochet and it'll bring me up to my very first. And then that will end for round 12. So for round 13, just put one single crochet in each one of those 43 stitches. And I'll see you when you get back up here for round 14. Okay, for round 14, move your stitch marker up if you haven't. We're going to be doing 5 single crochets in a row. So I'm going to do my first 2 here. Then I'm going to move my marker up. So we'll do 5 single crochets, 3, 4, and 5, and then we're going to do an increase. 1, 2. So that's our first set of 5 single crochets and then an increase. You want to do 6 more sets of that. So 6 more times, work 5 single crochets and then do an increase. Continue until you get to the end of your row. When you complete your final set, count your stitches, make sure you have 50. And then once you do, finish off your single crochets until you get up to your row again. I just came to the end of my row and I forgot the very last stitch of your row needs to be another increase, because once you finish completing your total of 7 sets of your 5 single crochets and an increase, when you get to the end you should have 49 stitches, but we want to go ahead and make it even. So go ahead and then your very last stitch, go ahead and do one more increase. So put 2 single crochets in the very last stitch. Now you should have 50 stitches all the way around. Now we want to do a total of 10 rows of just single crochet in each stitch around. So, and you can keep moving your marker up every so often. So for rounds 15 through 25, just put 1 single crochet in each stitch around. Okay, so I finished my 10 stitches for the next part, rows 15 through 25. Now I'm on round 26. And now you need to do 5 single crochets in a row. And I'm going to start off by doing my typical 2 single crochets and then put my marker. Okay, so 5 single crochets in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then you want to do a decrease. So you want to repeat this 6 more times. So go ahead and do that 6 more times, and at the end of your row, for the total row, you should have 44 stitches. Okay, I just finished the last decrease of my row. I counted my stitches. I have 44. So for round 27, we want to single crochet in the next 4 stitches. 1, 2, I'm going to go ahead and move my marker up. 2, 3, 4, and then decrease. So single crochet in the next 4 and then decrease. You want to repeat this 6 more times, and then you should end up with 37 stitches. Okay, so once you get done with round 27, you should have 37 stitches, and it's time to start stuffing to stuff your face. That's very weird. It's time to stuff your face. Okay, so let's move this out of the way. That would be helpful. You want to stuff it good, but you don't want to stuff it to the point where it's going to block your stitches. So you want to push through to make sure you get that nose filled in real good. And then I don't have it anywhere near my stitches. I'm going to add just a little bit more. Okay, just for now. Okay. Okay. So for round 28, we just want to put one stitch. You're going to put one single crochet in each stitch around. Oh, I think it's a bad idea to add that little bit in there. Keep it well away from my stitches. Okay, so put one single crochet in all your stitches around. You should have 37 of them. And I'll see you back here for round 29. Okay, for round 29, we're going to single crochet in the next 3 stitches. Move up your marker if you need to, and then do a single crochet decrease. Repeat this 6 more times, and at the end of this row you should have 30 stitches. Okay, for round 30, you want to put one single crochet in each stitch around. And for round 30, you should have 30 stitches. For round 31, you want to single crochet in the next 2 stitches and then do a single crochet decrease. And you want to repeat this 6 more times, and at the end of this row you should have 23 stitches. Okay, for round 32, this one you want to do a single crochet in the next stitch and then a single crochet decrease. Single crochet, decrease. And you're going to want to repeat this, what we just did here, 6 more times as usual. So we're going to do single crochet, decrease 6 more times, and then at the end of that row you should have 16 stitches. Okay, at the end of 32, you need to stuff. Try to finish stuffing your head. And remember, this is the main part that the kids are gonna snuggle with, so make sure you stuff it good. So I'm gonna go ahead and stuff my head, and I'll see you back here in a minute. Just make sure that you are stuffing down the sides. Look at the face. Make sure that you're stuffing it to where it's not going to be all lumpy. Okay, once you've got it good and stuffed, I don't think I'm fitting any in there and still be able to crochet. And it's not lumpy, it's kind of smooth. So I'm going to go ahead and close this up by doing a single crochet decrease in all the stitches. So we had how many stitches? 16. So divide that in half. Whoops. We'll have 8 single crochet decreases. It's very difficult to try to do this on camera and keep your stitches from getting too elongated. This is where you're trying to tighten it, so I'm trying to do it where my original loop isn't too long. I'm not going to be going through these stitches again, so it's not that big a deal if it gets some stuffing. I'm just trying to close that hole up. Just single crochet decreasing until I come back to my marker over there. I'm not really counting at the moment. Okay, so now I've got this little hole left. I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch in my very next stitch and then chain 1. I'm going to leave a tail because you want to use this tail to sew the head on later and to finish sewing up your hole now. So this back part, you're going to be attaching the yarn, string or whatever you want to call it, the yarn for the hair. So this place is definitely, you want to have enough stuffing. So this is your last chance to put some stuffing in there, knowing you don't have to crochet anymore. This is the back of the head. Try to keep that string out of there. Wanted to do this off camera earlier because it's just so much easier to do it with both your hands at the same time, and I can't look up at the camera at the same time. I'm trying to stuff it along the sides. I don't like to be skimpy with my stuffing. Oh, it looks good. Pretty tight up there without being too tight, I think. I hope. I don't want it to separate my stitches too much. I guess it's okay. Now I'm just going to be going across. Just finish sealing the hole. Hope I didn't do it too much stuffing. Okay. But that hair is going to be back here, so it's going to cover a lot of it either way. And this still looks good and tight. Okay, so there is the head.